and gentlemen, my name is Ryan. Welcome to Chaotic Comics. Today we have a top 10 list for you, the top 10 comic book anti-heroes. So, jumping right into it, number 10 is Mystique. We focused mainly on her film interpretation from the X-Men movies, as in the comics she's more of just a clear-cut supervillain. Her real name is Raven, and she starts out best buddies with Magneto, and they kind of hate everyone that isn't a mutant. They're kind of like Nazis, but mutants. As the movies go along, and she becomes Jennifer Lawrence, she becomes good, so they could give her more screen time. And she becomes a pretty convincing hero, actually. She even leads the X-Men against Apocalypse to rescue Charles. So, number 9, we have Cable. He's a fan favorite from the X-Men universe. Him and Deadpool are best buddies. He's a time-traveling telekinetic who likes guns, and he's got big metal arms, and he is just a scary, awesome dude. He's more of an anti-hero just because of his willingness to kill. He's the son of Scott Summers, the Cyclops, and Madeline Pryor, who's a clone of Jean Grey, that was sent into the future where he became a warrior. And then he came back and him and Deadpool became friends. So number 8, we have Venom. Eddie Brock, who was a supervillain for years in the comics. He eventually became what he calls a lethal protector, as he was focusing less and less on his vendetta against Spider-Man, and more about doing something good with his life. And then, of course, there's Agent Venom, who I don't think is Eddie Brock. I think it's Flash Thompson. Yeah, it's Flash Thompson. And he's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think he's been part of the Avengers before. But, he's more into weapons, and he's, like, a pretty good S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and an awesome anti-hero. So then at number 7, we have Rorschach, who is by far the best character from the greatest graphic novel of all time, Watchmen. He's just a scary dude. The writer described him as pretty much Batman if he was real, which means he would have to be totally unhinged to do what he does. He's a little crazy. Everyone comments on how he smells weird and acts weird and has no social skills. And he can kill you with a meat cleaver or french fry grease, whatever's available. A lighter and some hairspray, meat cleaver, he'll kill you with it. And he started out not killing, kind of like Batman. But then a fateful day with a child murderer changed everything, and the underworld really had to fear Rorschach. Number 6, we have Catwoman. Catwoman recently has become more and more of a hero and less of a villain. But she's always been a master thief that's had a love-hate relationship with Batman. So that's kind of what makes her an anti-hero. She's out there for herself, but she can't help but help people along the way. And eventually she completely takes over the entire, eastern corner of Gotham, where she runs into Black Mask. And she's an awesome character. So number 5, we have V from V for Vendetta. This one is a bit debatable, in the sense that, depending on your interpretation, V is a total terrorist, not a freedom fighter, which is what makes him such a compelling and great character. Because he's open to interpretation. He believes in an anarchist society to destroy the fascism of the London of that future. And he'll stop at nothing, whether it's murdering public officials, blowing up public buildings, anything to see London freed. So number 4, we have Spawn. Al Simmons was the deadliest agent in the CIA and, ran tons of successful operations for the government. But eventually he started questioning the morality of his actions, and so he was terminated from the force, literally. And then he became Hellspawn with the help of Malboja and one of the coolest villains in all of comics, the Violator. And he started killing criminals, demons, angels. He pretty much just started killing a whole bunch of people with his new demon powers, all because he wanted to see his wife again. And then he eventually kills God and Satan. So you can't get more in the middle than that, I think. 3, we have Deadpool, one of my all-time favorite comic book characters. Wade Wilson has earned the name the Merc with the Mouth. He makes this list based solely on the fact that he'll take contracts for good and contracts for bad. He even started out as just a clear-cut villain, but then he started appearing in the Heroes for Hire comic. He's also here because, he'll kill you. He will kill you, he will kill you so dead that you are no longer alive. He is a scary dude with those katanas, and guns, and explosives, and whatever else he pulls out of that magic satchel of his. And that's what makes him a fan favorite. That and his love of Mexican food, which we can all get behind. Number 2, we have Red Hood. Jason Todd was the second Robin until he had the crap beaten out of him with a crowbar and was blown up by the Joker. Ra's al Ghul brought him back to life, and he started killing criminals, because screw you, Batman. You taught me my whole life, but guess what? I'm gonna throw everything you taught me in your face by killing people. Ha ha ha. But he's an awesome character. He looks awesome, he acts awesome, he shoots people. He's pretty much Batman if he would kill, which is totally awesome. And that alienates him from the rest of the Bat family, but they all still remember him as Robin, and they just want him to hold on to that piece of himself. So that makes him a sympathetic character. A couple honorable mentions before number 1. We have Wolverine, who didn't make this list pretty much because he borderline's clear-cut superhero. We have Lobo, who's just DC's Deadpool. So, like, everything I said about Deadpool, it's Lobo. Only he's an alien and he smokes cigars and he has a cool motorcycle. We have Marv from Sin City. He's total badass. I advise anyone to check out Sin City Comics. Spectre, who... I don't really know much about Spectre. Hal Jordan was Spectre for a little bit, so there's that. Huntress just missed the list. Helena Bertinelli is an awesome character. She's pretty much Punisher if she was a dude. Riddler makes honorable mentions for when he was cured of his insanity for a little bit and he became a detective. So, he goes from supervillain to detective. That makes you kind of an anti-hero, huh? And then Raven makes honorable mentions because she's the daughter of ultimate evil and she's good, but there's always that gnawing at her demon heritage, and that causes her to occasionally transition over to evil. So, finally, at number 1, we have, you all guessed it, it's the Punisher. Frank Castle is the ultimate criminal hunter. He will kill, he'll steal, he will torture. If you're a criminal, there is no punishment that is too dark for this man. And that's why we all love him. One of the most violent characters in all of comics, and one of the greatest.